Ho, ho, ho! Welcome to Cigar Time.
Bottle of rum.
It's our it's our second annual Christmas show.
Yay!
It's amazing we've all lasted that long.
Yeah.
And I hope I don't look quite as dumb as I feel right now.
You do. Rest assured.
How dumb do you feel?
Shake my maracas.
Yeah, it depends on how dumb you
look like
feel.
Santa's little helper.
Yeah.
Well.
I've got the Tel Aviv Christmas hat on here.
I'm telling you, you just look like you did.
Well, this is our Christmas show. We have nothing particularly to talk about, although I'm sure Paul will, regale you with tales of Central America at Christmas time or something like that. We're not smoking anybody's particular cigar. That everybody has a cigar they plucked out of their box or something.
That we'll be cutting with and lighting with our official Cigar Time cutter and lighter, Cigar. Thank you, Cigar.
Thank you, Cigar. Thank you, Cigar.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Cigar.
Thank you, Cigar. Merry Christmas, Cigar.
And Cigar has great gift packs too.
Yes, they do. They have a lot of
you-
great,
yeah.
gift packs.
Unfortunately, none of them are here.
Hey,
They haven't come in yet, all right?
no one listens to me.
Well,
Everybody
what we want to tell you all about,
Thank you.
Is the real meaning of Christmas.
Cigars, which is the real meaning of Christmas. Cigars will feature literally many dozens of different gift packs and variety packs, and there's a smoke and a price for everybody's taste and pocketbook. As we will have a lot of different goodies for Christmas, your neighborhood brick and mortar store will as well. And as we always implore you to do, please patronize your local brick and mortar store. They're there for your convenience, they're there for your smoking enjoyment, and with the kind of weather we're having in the wintertime here in the East, it's a good place to hang out and enjoy a smoke. So, Paul, why don't you start out and try to eat up about 24 minutes?
No.
Well,
Can I go first?
yeah,
What I
please.
wanted to mention is a lot of the people who are watching right now aren't necessarily the people who are buying cigars, although that may happen. Feel comfortable in sending whoever you want in to buy for you to our stores, because we've got a very helpful staff, very knowledgeable, and they're going to be more than willing to help whoever's buying for you or for somebody else pick out the absolute perfect gift, the perfect cigar. And you know what? Quite frankly, I'm sure most retailers will do the same thing for you.
Yeah.
Should
Or
point out
also they
gift
can open
cards.
the humidor up and just quick peek to see what they actually like to smoke. You can always bring the thing
That's a
in
great
there.
idea, actually.
Yeah, you open the humidor, you just peek in, oh, what does he like to smoke, and you see it.
Yeah.
Take a picture of it or whatever.
You can never have
Sounds
enough
like
cigars.
a Soupy sales routine.
Yes, that's what
Just
we're gonna-
open up the wallet while he's asleep
Yeah, take out those little green pieces of paper.
and send them in.
Soupy sales. Plus, we're going to have many more gift packs in humidity-filled bags, so you can not worry. You can buy them, from now till Christmas, and know they'll stay fresh and everything.
Exactly.
And
So,
emails into the show get you what? And right on time for Christmas too,
Yeah,
right?
and of course
Yeah.
we've got
15% off coupon.
We've got
Yeah.
all the great lighters and the cutters,
Like the
all the
Cigar.
accessories.
Like Cigar, yeah.
Exactly. We've got humidors, travel packs. We've got anything you're going to need.
A plethora of items.
Whoa.
I like
plethora.
that, a plethora.
That, and we've got a lot too.
Well, I think if I can speak on behalf of the entire crew here at Cigar Time, it's been a wonderful year for us. Next year is going to be our 20th anniversary. We're going to be doing a lot of special events and a lot of great things, and to bring great cigars to you and to bring great savings to you, which I think we're getting pretty well known as. We're going to keep expanding our chain. Hopefully by the time you see this, we'll have another store or so, and coming to a neighborhood near you, but not in competition with your local brick and mortar. We don't do that.
Yeah.
I think it's a good time to tell stories. If anybody has a great Christmas story
Paul, I think
somehow centered around cigars,
Also, you had a 20-minute one.
Well, I have at any length you might want.
we know that.
Does it involve a donkey and a
no,
executioner's mask?
no donkeys, no
Dominic the
executioner's
donkey.
mask, and no little boys. So here's the story. One Christmas, I decided to take my father with me down to Ecuador to see what the plantations and the factory and all that were like. And we flew down, and he was fascinated, as people are the first time they see any of that. And after a few days, we decided that it would be good for him to be a tourist. And we hopped a quick flight up into the mountains to the capital, which is called Quito. It's up about 9,000 feet.
Yeah.
It's all the way up, surrounded by live volcanoes. It's a beautiful colonial city. And
This is the funny part.
no, it's not. Anyway, we were touring, you know, walking around, looking at the Congressional Palace and the Museum of Art and all the beautiful old cultural things. And all of a sudden, in the middle of the main square in the city of Quito, 500,000 Ecuadorian Indians came out of the mountains.
How many?
Indigenous people.
Indigenous people.
Indians.
You said 500?
500,000.
Who counted them?
Not me, because they were all carrying machetes. And this was the beginning of the great insurrection of 1999.
Oh, wow.
And they immediately took over the city. It was the beginning of a revolution. We were the last two, I don't want to say white people.
But white people?
You
We were
just said
the-
it.
We were the last two
Caucasian.
White people?
gringos.
Gringos.
We were the last two gringos to get out of Quito. We hopped on this little puddle jumper back to the city where the factory is, which is down in the lowlands. And by the time we landed, the entire country was shut down. The airports were closed. It was a full-blown revolution. And in fact, within a couple of days, two of the three generals that run the whole country had joined in the revolution.
Did they change into indigenous people garb?
No, they stayed in their military garb. And my business associates down there, who are amongst the 12 families that basically own everything in Ecuador, got a hold of us in a hurry and said, we're going to watch the war from the Bankers Club. And I didn't even know what the Bankers Club was, so I just went with my father, and turns out those 12 families all own banks, and some years ago had pooled their money to build the tallest building in South America, right in Guayaquil. And the top 5 floors of that building are a private club for people that own banks. So all of the families, all of these 12 families and their kids and aunts and uncles and everybody were all ensconced in the Bankers Club for the duration of the war. And it was really astounding. It was like a lawn party up on the roof, white glove service. There were maids and servants bringing us drinks, and we were looking off the roof and watching a war unfold in the streets below us. It was really unusual. And
Don't start the revolution before you or something?
yeah, don't start it without me.
Yeah.
After the 4th day, the head guy of this particular family that I'm associated with down there, who's one of these larger-than-life kind of characters, started pacing back and forth and said, I can't stand this anymore. I'm getting stir-crazy. I need to go eat a good piece of meat. I got to have a steak. We're going to go out to eat. And I looked at him and I said, Danny, there's a war going on down there. Did you I got to take this off.
Heathen.
That's me. And so he said, don't worry about anything. Just meet me in the lobby in 10 minutes. Bring your father. So I gathered my father up, and we took the elevator down to the lobby, and he met us down there. And we walked out in the street, and there was 2 tanks and an armored personnel carrier. And we got in the armored personnel carrier. And they basically cut a cordon right through the middle of the war. So there's a war in the street over here, and there's a war in the street over here, and up the middle goes Danny and his wife and my father and I to a restaurant to have a good steak. And it was bizarre. It was like parting the Red Sea. And while we're sitting there eating, the president the president of Ecuador got on television, and they of course had a big screen TV in the restaurant to show what was going on in the country. And he got on to announce that he would not declare martial law. He said, the Constitution must rule. I will not declare martial law. About 4 hours later, he got on a plane with a good chunk of the National Treasury and flew to France and has never been heard from since. The revolution, or as they called it, the insurrection, went on for 5 more days. I found out afterwards that my mother and my wife were watching this on CNN and freaking out because we couldn't call them, we couldn't talk to them, we couldn't explain anything. What happened was the other generals that really run the country behind the scenes all the time got together. They declared that the vice president was now going to be the president. They killed one of the generals that joined the insurrection and threw the other one in prison. And they gave the indigenous people another bunch of seats in the Congress. The Indians or indigenous people were happy with that. They went back up into the mountains and nobody heard from them anymore. And the revolution was over pretty much the way it started. So nothing much had changed other than we had an interesting Christmas adventure in Ecuador.
How was the steak?
I was just saying, what did you order?
Steak.
I mean, besides that, I mean, did you have potatoes or?
Well, yeah.
Was it
steak.
Argentinian beef?
Yes, it was.
I figured that.
Argentinian beef.
I figured.
And baked potatoes and really good beer. And the most interesting part of it to me was that 2 years later, the general that they had thrown in prison was released, ran for president, and won.
I knew it. I knew it.
Serves them right.
So,
Typical,
life
typical
in,
South America.
Yeah, I was going to say, life
Yeah.
in South America is just its own thing, and it's very different than what we're used to up here.
Kind of like what they did with Mandela, right?
Kind of, sort of.
Well, Mandela was locked up for a long time.
Wow, yeah.
But I
30
can,
years.
I
Still
can tell
came out
you
and
for
won.
certain that if you're embroiled in a revolution anytime in the near future, the place to spend it is at the Bankers Club.
The Bankers Club, yeah.
All right. Good
Do you have
information.
cigars?
Oh yeah, lots and lots of
There you
cigars.
go.
Scott,
So it couldn't be too bad.
What?
do you have anything to add?
Yes.
After that story, I mean,
Yeah, I'm smoking a VSG.
oh, that's about it, huh?
Yeah. Got a nice Ecuadorian sun-grown wrapper.
Speaking of Ecuador, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Actually,
revolutionary.
that's what I have to. Yeah, that's what I have to add.
I have
You're certainly a font of information.
I don't have any
A
trips like him.
scintillating conversation.
I go to like Cancun and lay on a beach. Nothing exciting happens
But do you
on the
smoke a
beach.
cigar on the beach?
Yeah.
They haven't banned that yet.
No, well, the last time, believe me, the last time I was there, I wasn't banned. It's been a long time.
I don't think
1998 to be exact.
I
so
don't
you-
think they ban much of anything in Cancun.
Yeah, just ban it.
Yeah, actually, you
Just
can do
ban
pretty
it.
much everything. You smoke ganja and well, I can't have an open beer in the street. Other than that, no-
Anybody else
All
have
bets are
a
off.
riveting Christmas story?
I have something. I have a Christmas story.
Got to involve cigars somehow.
Oh wait, this is.
Well, tell us your interesting Christmas.
just add a cigar in
All
there
right,
somehow.
yeah, okay.
And I had a
Does it
cigar
involve
after.
sex?
No.
So no sex, no cigars.
Yeah.
Well, how interesting
All right,
is this?
Let's move on.
this is actually the craziest Christmas
Let's keep
story.
rolling.
Let's move on.
All right, so I got invited to go to Jacksonville, Florida, with this guy. Right, he lived down there. So
This guy.
this guy,
Did you know his name?
I knew him like for a while, but you
A
know
week
I
or
never
so?
was like around him like that. So I got on the plane. He flew me down. I get there. His house is like a hoarder. I mean, I freaked out. He smoked cigars and
Well, there you go.
Oh, yeah.
So it's related.
and they were piled up. No lie, like the cigarettes and the cigars were just piled up on the floor.
Not
In a
used.
huge, yes, used.
Used one.
Used in a huge
Ooh,
pile.
that must have smelled
Dishes
good.
everywhere. It just was like nowhere to sit. It was just like, oh my God, I walked into, I don't
Sounds
know.
like hell.
Yes, I didn't want to say, can you say hell?
Yeah, you can
It
say
was
hell.
Very
Damn right you can say
I said,
hell.
what did I just get myself into? So I couldn't leave that very night. So I was like, look,
I think you could have actually.
well, wait, I couldn't leave Jacksonville that very night. So I said, okay, I said, listen, just drive me to a hotel. I'm going to stay in a hotel. So the next day I went back. He cleaned it up a little bit. I said, look, I'm still not happy with this. I got on the phone. I called my dad. I'm like, Dad, get me out of here right now. He calls the airplane, gives me a ticket. I get on the plane. I'm out. I was there for like 1 day. My whole Christmas ruined. Oh, that's my Christmas story. Never,
Have you
ever,
ever been back to
ever.
Jacksonville?
No.
I've been in
And
Jacksonville.
the
Fun.
food is horrible.
In Jacksonville?
No, in this guy's house.
Rob?
It was just a scary thing.
Back to you again, Rob.
I got nothing.
Not after that story.
Did you get a bike one year or something?
I did. I get,
Was it a Schwinn?
No.
A Raleigh.
Hobby?
Free
What is-
Spirit.
Free Spirit. I never
Free
heard of
Spirits.
that
I
one.
love those bikes.
I love
brand of
Christmases.
bras.
I've been to Christmas I've been to my mom's house every single Christmas of my life.
Me too.
Every single
one.
one.
Good for you.
I do the 7 fishes and stuff like that. You know, typical Italian stuff. 7 fishes are awesome. So
No scary story at all.
But,
no scary story.
but after you smoked, I mean, after you ate the 7 fishes, did you then go smoke?
No.
Or were any of the fish smoked?
No.
No
Did you
smoked
smoke fish?
No smoked fish. We're not Jewish.
Do you like fish?
Yeah, I don't like a
He
lot of
loves
fish.
fish.
I had
Gefilte
certain
fish is
no.
one of his
No
favorite.
fish
No
on
gefilte
Christmas.
fish.
You
Yeah,
gotta
that
have-
wasn't one of the
Gefilte
7?
fish is not one of the 7 fishes.
That was
all
all
right?
7.
I thought that was the 8.
No.
The real Orthodox.
No, absolutely not. It is not. Sorry. And salmon is not one of them either.
What about tilapia?
What's wrong with salmon?
No
What do you got against
tilapia.
salmon?
No such fish as tilapia.
Tilapia
What do you got
didn't
against salmon?
exist back then.
No.
Tilapia is a created
Yes,
fish.
exactly, I know.
I actually have a story,
Christmas story?
a Christmas story.
With
Yeah.
a cigar?
Back in 1981,
I wasn't even
Christmas
born.
of 1981, I was in the airline business, had an airline. I also had my own little private jet. My daughter was born on October 29th, so she was not even 2 months old when my company, the personnel in my company, we also owned a couple travel agencies, they put together a trip for us to what should have been a wonderful resort outside of San Juan in Puerto Rico. And we all flew down, we landed, limo picked us up at the airport, drove us to this, I won't use the name of the resort because it's a very famous resort, and in our suite was supposed to be a, what do you call that little thing you keep kids in?
Crib.
Looks like jail, yeah.
Bassinet?
Looks like a jail.
Bathtub.
Crib?
A kid jail,
Crib.
a baby jail. It should have been a bassinet,
A playpen.
and it was supposed to be fully stocked with food and everything. Well, we get into this wonderful place, and from the outside it appeared to be, and the suite was very nice, but inside the room,
It was a donkey in an executioner's mask.
Oh my God.
actually he was outside on the lawn.
We see how your fan is.
We get into the suite, and there's this crib. You know how it folds up and it has two wooden things to make the floor. Well, if you put any weight on it, it just collapsed right onto the floor.
Oh my
Right.
God.
So you
So
couldn't
you couldn't
safely
sleep in it?
Yeah, and the bassinet looked like they had bathed some of the dirtiest kids in the history of Puerto Rico in that bassinet, and it was still, the dirt was still in there. So I looked, my late wife, I looked at her, she looked at me, I said, we're not staying here. And I made them drive us back to the airport. I did smoke a cigar out on the balcony before I left, because I was so aggravated. I calmed down, get the bile down. I made them drive us right back to the airport, and since it was my plane and everything, and then we basically flew home.
Why don't you just run another hotel?
Nah, we were so aggravated, and Jessica wasn't even 2 months old, and it was just so aggravating. I mean, you just took all the fun out of it. I mean, we just basically turned around and flew home. And that's my Christmas story. It's the best I can do.
Wow.
And as a kid, I lived in a very hard-scrapple portion of Philadelphia where, let's put it this way, people of my extraction were
Rare.
very rare and very few and far, far in between. So the school I went to, of course, the grammar school, I was probably all 8 and 9, every Christmas time they would sing, Christmas carols, Christmas songs. So by that age, I learned it. To this day, I still read. I'm not going to sing them.
Thank God
Thank
for small
God.
favors.
Well,
Just one.
That's your Christmas present to us? You're not singing?
Thank you.
I'm not going to sing, and that's my Christmas present to you all. But I learned every single Christmas song, stood up in the auditorium and sang the songs with all the, Christian kids, and I really have fond memories of all that. Very fond memories of that.
With your little black glasses. And
Yeah, I didn't have. I don't know what they were, but they were funny looking. I know that.
Why do you got to be black?
And,
because they were black.
well, they might have been black. I
Back
can't-
then, glasses came in any color you wanted, as long as it was black.
Well, it sounds like Henry Ford with his cars.
Yes.
So that's my Christmas story and Christmas stories. And I'm sorry that Rob doesn't have a story.
I do have a quick Christmas story.
Oh!
Has nothing to do with cigars, though. But I was a little kid, and I guess I was like 8 or 9 years old, and my brother woke me up one morning. It had to be like 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, and our parents were gone. So
They weren't.
they were gone. Yeah.
They split.
They were gone. We had no idea where they were. We were looking all over the house, upstairs,
They were at
downstairs.
Pasco's.
Were you scared?
Yeah, my brother, we're like, where'd they go, right? It was Christmas Eve.
And he was 16 years old.
It's 8 or 9, I already said that. So we went next door to our neighbor's house. We knocked on the door. We saw that the lights were on, so we knocked on the door, and my parents were there.
You know
And
they would get arrested for that now.
oh, probably.
Oh.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God.
Child services. Absolutely.
Be taking you away.
Yeah.
And
so
think how your life would have changed.
probably be better off.
Hope your mom
Could be
doesn't
worse. No,
watch.
I love my mother. So they were there, and they got us back, and we went back to bed. But then in the morning, we're like, well, how come that the house we went to, their Christmas presents were already under the tree, and ours there were no presents under our tree. I'm like,
they were out
did Santa
shopping.
Claus skip our house or something? We were upset, my brother and I.
When did you?
So when did you get your presents?
The next
Christmas
morning.
Day.
Oh, okay.
These weren't out yet.
It was
we're
just
not.
Santa was slow. He stopped off
Yeah,
for a
we're
drink.
like, well, how come
Did
they
you?
were there before?
Did you put
Alright,
two and
well,
two
how
together?
about
Is that when you
this?
put two and two together?
What do you mean?
They were dropping you a hint.
Never mind.
When did you guys stop believing in Santa?
Oh, I think
don't know
there's
what
some
you're
on this panel that still do.
I don't understand what you're talking
I
about.
stopped.
Some never have.
What? No kids can watch the show. Santa Claus.
What about
Let me
it?
tell you what happened. 5
Before we
years
go on, if any little kids are in the audience,
There's
you might
no
want to clear the
little
room.
kids watching this
Hey,
show.
just in
Spoiler
case.
alert.
I was 5
There's
years
no
old.
No kidding.
I was 5 years old, and my parents used to take us with them when they went shopping to let us pick our stuff out. And then they put us back in the car, and then they would leave us in the car, and they would go back in and get the gifts, right?
You
Talk about-
definitely,
you definitely would've
child
arrested for
services
that.
would have taken you away.
So all three of us in the car, my parents, they come back, and we're kind of like crouched down. Remember the old Isuzu Troopers?
Yeah.
And so the seats, you had like a little crack in the middle. You could look, through the back. So my parents are putting stuff in the back, and me and my sister are like, what are they putting in the back? So I go and I peek, and I see a kitchen set. I said, oh, you got that kitchen set. So, okay, all right. So the next day, 2 days later, Christmas comes, I see the kitchen set. I said, Mom, Dad, who got the kitchen set? They said, Santa Claus. I said, no, he didn't. You guys got it 2 days ago at the Toys R Us. So my
Toys.
Santa Claus was ruined after
That happened to me and my brother too. We found our Christmas
Yep.
presents one year, and it was
Yep.
the worst Christmas ever.
Yep.
We got great stuff. We got air hockey, we got bikes and everything like
You
that.
didn't
It
get
was great.
you didn't get a kitchen set?
We did not get a kitchen set.
And no cigars?
No cigars.
Ah.
But we found our presents, and it was the worst because we knew exactly what we
Yep.
were getting.
Isn't that
and
something?
Christmas morning, we knew everything we were
Yeah.
getting. It was terrible.
I never wanted to
I know,
Some
it was
kids
terrible.
want to spy and find out. I never wanted to know because I always like that surprise.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
you're an introvert.
Yeah, but I always
We
got
didn't
the
get
worst gifts.
No. Well, it's
My
'cause you were Jewish.
sisters
No, it's
always
'cause we
got
were
the
poor.
best gifts.
Uh-huh.
And I always got the worst gifts. I always said I was the stepchild. I'm saying it on national television. I was adopted.
National? We're national?
Are you really?
Oh,
Were you really?
local. No, I wasn't, but I say I am because I always got the worst stuff. When I turned 17, I got a suitcase. And a
Suitcase? You didn't get a suitcase, you got a
Oh my
hat.
God!
It was a hint,
That's a
man.
very subtle gift.
Time for you to hit the
It
road.
was one big suitcase, and I said, "Well, dang, you couldn't get me the accessories. I couldn't get the travel bag.
You
I
didn't
just
get the
got
hint?
One big
Really?
suitcase.
Was it zebra
Did you get a
color?
bus
Was it
ticket?
zebra?
No, it was black.
Was it a zebra pattern?
Black.
Why do you have to be
He didn't give you a bus ticket too?
No.
That was good. I like that.
I swear, it's all like that.
I think, I
Wow,
think
that's good.
at this point in the program, those of you who are lucky to have your parents and or siblings and your children still around you, which some of us are, and unfortunately, parent-wise and such, I'm an orphan. But this is a good time to remember them at this time of year, regardless of what your heritage is, and because it's both Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, and Christmas all around the same period of time.
Festivus?
Festa who?
Festivus.
Festivus.
That's for the rest of us.
Festivus for the rest of
Three
it.
kings are
And it's a good time to, keep them dear and keep them near and give them a good hug and a couple of decent cigars that we're hoping that we
Scott mentioned this the other day. We can never have enough cigars.
No, it's impossible. I don't know. Some
Yeah.
customers come in and say that. I'm like, how could you?
How can you buy
Oh, I have
it?
enough
Possibly.
cigars.
So
you
for
never have
those of
cigars.
for those of you that are watching that are thinking that you're not going to buy somebody cigar gifts because they have enough, they never have enough.
Never
Never
have
have
enough.
Well, that's why gift cards are so nice
Oh,
as
yeah, I
well
forgot
too
the gift
for
cards.
here.
Yeah.
Because if they feel like they have too many cigars, you get them a gift card and they can come in and get accessories.
Or smoke them for them, and then they'll need more.
If the humidor gets too full, just buy another one.
One of
There's
the-
plenty of humidor.
One of the really nice gift sets that we actually can't have on the table because it's too big.
Yeah.
We'll show you a picture of it. It's from Monte Cristo. You get 25 Monte Cristo cigars. You're going to get, I think it's about a pound of espresso. You get an
It's
ashtray.
Monte Cristo or
I
something.
mean, it's not an ashtray. This thing
That's
is
beautiful.
like a
We're
$70.
looking at it right now.
It's
Yeah,
gorgeous.
I mean, it's
You
gorgeous.
get espresso cups. You get a
Humidor?
humidor jar that's
Wow.
porcelain.
Beautiful.
Absolutely
Beautiful.
beautiful. And we'll have these in all of our stores. And it's a shame we can't have it on the table, but
Yeah.
as I said, we will show you a picture of it.
The gift set's so nice.
forget
you
the
don't even
4
wanna
cups
take
and
it out of the
saucers.
box.
He said that.
Oh, you did say the 4
Yeah,
cups?
espresso
I'm
cups.
sorry.
And
course.
it's all
Cups.
I just wanna
Monte
make sure.
Cristo stuff, the
Yes.
cigars, the coffee,
Everything
the
is-
ashtray,
It's
the
the
humidor.
Monte Cristo white label.
With
Toro.
gold
And we're going to
trim.
have a very, very special price on this. Just, they're very limited. We don't have that many of them.
With gold trim.
I mean, this is, when you see it, as you're probably seeing it right now,
Yeah.
it's just an absolute drop-dead gorgeous gift for that cigar aficionado in your life. So, again, to rehash, all our stores will have a wonderful variety of humidified as well as just regular gift sets and gift packs. We have a smoke for every taste, every price, and
Accessories.
we appreciate your business as always, and we hope you'll support not only our stores, but you'll also support your neighborhood tobacconists. So I guess it's time for everybody.
Wait, one more.
Hurry up.
I have like so many stories.
quickly.
Wait,
We got
one more.
45 seconds.
Guess what? I went downstairs one year and
Oh my
it
God.
was a lump of coal.
Nice.
for me.
Nice.
I swear, with a little pick.
Did you put it in your
And my
suitcase?
aunt got it for me. I said, "What the heck?" But it was actually licorice, but it was in coal. It looked like coal.
Nice.
Time to wish everybody a
Bye-bye,
very, very Merry
Merry
Christmas from
Christmas.
all of
Merry
us.
Christmas, everybody. Happy Hanukkah.
Sorry to embarrass you,
Happy
parents.
Kwanzaa, Happy Hanukkah,
Happy
Merry
Festivus.
Christmas. And as always, we thank you very, very much for your patronage.
Yes.
We thank you for just, joining us in the enjoyment of premium cigars. And we hope that your upcoming year will be your best year yet. Time to say goodbye, everybody. Merry
Ciao for now.
Christmas. Ho, ho, ho.
Smoke often.